Alrighty, let's see if we can get this fucking thing put back together. Eh? I mean, kind of got no choice but to at least try, right? So, there's a spring. I remember that. Then there's this guy, I think. Yeah, this guy. And then there's this wheel here. It's got the lobe that this has got to sit underneath, right in there. There's the lobe. But it's fighting the spring right off the bat, so that's fucking great. There's a pin. What next? We'll get this whole unit in here, maybe. Well, that fell together quite nicely. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's my pin falling out. Make sure that guy don't go nowhere. Okay, so I kind of got to hold that down. Remember, this tab has to go in between these what do you call those? Stop switches? I don't know. Position switches? I don't know. But anyway, this gear, I guess, or I guess lines up better on the motor gear that way. Before we do that, let's see if we can get this fucking plug back on there. Hey, look at that. Now let's put this back on. I think everything's still in between the momentary switches, or position switches, whatever the fuck they're called. Something like so now if that would just stay like that for a moment, I'll get some silicone. We'll glue this slut back together, and maybe we'll try it, kinda. Well, I suppose we could try it, and if it works, we can look into trying to find a way to seal this up, because can't find those anywhere. Although it's got screws on it, you'd think it's a replaceable part, but even on like Honda parts fucking store with the blow up diagrams and everything, it showed this whole unit and it showed other pieces, but this, it didn't have a part number for it or nothing. So if this works, we're gonna try and seal that up, and we're gonna see if we can get a little more use out of this, and if not, we'll just have to let the customer know that it's a buy parts kind of deal. Here's the plug. So I'm going to plug it in right here. And, should make some noise. Hopefully not some terrible noises, but should make some sort of noise. And if we're lucky, some shit might even move. So this thing, we'd be looking for a movement of, it'll either go down or up. So here's shifting a 4x4. We're going to set this to 20 volts DC, and we are going to test some wires here real quick. Find out if we still got power. Yeah, right there. So the black one was ground. And then we should have 12 volts, 12 volts, 12 volts. Okay. Now when I switch to four-wheel drive, we'll lose one of those 12-volt signals. And, you know, there should only be, out of the three, only two of them should have. See, there's 12 volts. Here's the second one. Nothing. Third one, 12 volts. Now when I go to four-wheel drive lock, we'll lose another 12 volt signal. Now there'll only be one live 12 volt circuit. See, there's 12 volts. The other two will be dead. Nothing. Nothing. And then, if I go back to two-wheel drive, we'll have 12 volts on all three circuits again. No. 12. 12. 12. Hey, so that means that this guy is toast. Kind of like I thought. The little electric motor, like most of the circuit board's probably fine. Circuit board's probably fine, but that little electric motor, they don't like being fucking submerged in anything, let alone greasy, nasty booger oil, fucking water shit. Four-wheel drive, nothing. Walk. So I'll have to talk with the customer, because I can make it so that this thing is stuck in four-wheel drive, or I can make it so that this thing is in two-wheel drive. I guess I would assume he'd probably want four-wheel drive, considering it's open diff four-wheel drive anyway. But I'll have a talk with him, and for anyone, you know, I have seen videos of guys that, you know, have gotten lucky. They've taken theirs apart, cleaned it, and you know, it was fine. But I think, you know, those are guys that, you know, stopped riding their machine right when they noticed, right? No four-wheel drive, oh, I'm gonna find out what's wrong. This machine, it lost four-wheel drive, and it was still ridden for a little bit of time. So all that time, there's probably, you know, 12 volts going to that little motor, trying to shift it back and forth, or you know, like I said, like I just showed you, in two-wheel drive, it had 12 volts to all three circuits. So it uses power to stay in two-wheel drive. As a matter of fact, right now, see this pin here, right here, this one, you pull it out, and that engages the diff lock, right? But it has to be held out. This one, right here, this pin, as it sits all the way out, that's four-wheel drive, just left alone. If you depress it and you hold it there, that's two-wheel drive. Okay, so if you just leave it alone, just like that, let it pop back out. There, pop back out where it normally wants to sit, because it's on a spring, right? It's being pushed outwards. It wants to be just the way it is right now, which is open diff, four-wheel drive. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is to leave it alone, and that gives the customer open diff, four-wheel drive, because he does want this machine back to ride this weekend, and there's no way we're gonna have an actuator by then. So we're probably gonna leave this as just the way it is, open diff, four-wheel drive. I will make something to seal this up, because that's not supposed to be just open to the elements. I'll make something to seal that up, and yeah, we'll leave her like this for the time being. So yeah, I'll flip the camera back on with an update when we get one. Okay, well, since I'm pretty sure this machine is gonna go back to the owner, like I said, the way it is with open diff, four-wheel drive, I figured we'd just give it a quick once over. I charged the battery last night. I checked the fuses. I'm just about to check the oil, and I'm going to recommend to the customer that this machine gets an oil change, because I'm pretty sure he probably hasn't done one. I mean, that's pretty dark. It's not the worst in the world, but let's see how much we got. That's right about on perfect, so we're gonna leave that alone. Oh, this dipstick here, it's kind of funny. You can screw it in wrong and then it doesn't seal, eh? And if you get this thing in some deep water, you're gonna fill up your crankcase with water. Oh, let's come over here, and I popped the cap on this guy. Not a drop to be found. I think I got some of that kind. That was a pretty good pour. I don't know if I need that. take her for a little ride tomorrow and make sure that we're flowing properly, but I think that's all good. So like I said, I'm gonna find something to seal that up with. When I do, I'll probably show you a quick little clip of what it is I used, and then I'm gonna throw the tire back on and this will be done. So I'll flip the camera on and show you what I come up with for a seal. Alrighty, so what I did was whatever I plugged that with had to be able to go over top of that nub, right? So I took a piece of hose that was the perfect diameter to go inside of the hole and have that nub inside of the hose without it being depressed, because depressing it will put it in two-wheel drive. I then ran that little hose just down to right there. It's not far, it's right there, and it's got a plug on the end of it and a hose clamp, and so it's not going to take in any water or let out any oil or any type of the bullshit. He'll have four-wheel drive open diff, which is better than the two-wheel drive he was stuck with before. And we are going to order a shift actuator, four-wheel drive actuator. So for the moment, that's about it. We're gonna throw the wheel back on it, and yeah, that's it for right now. So you will see this machine again when the new part comes in and it's time to change it. So so that's it for now, and until next time, have gooder, folks.